Now let's continue with our art inside our triangle. So you are in the pen tool, and this time let's do the mouth, and you click right here, click up here, and to give it a little curve, I'll bring my mouse up a little bit. Then I will go back to the anchor point and retract that lever. Then I'm going to come down here and I'll make a little smiley face by clicking and dragging to the left like that. Now to deselect it, Shift Command A. Okay, now let's do a nose. I'll do click here. I'll come over to the line of the triangle, click and drag. So there's the bottom of the nose. Shift Command A. Now let's go to our polygon, and this time get the ellipse tool, and we'll just put an eye, and we're going to do the eye from the inside out, and we'll make an ellipse. So I'll go close up so you can see. I'll place my mouse right here and hold the Option down, which will mean I'll draw from the inside out, from the center outwards. So I press and I go out like that, and there is an eye. I'm going to release my mouse first, then take my finger off the key. Now take the black arrow, the selection tool, and it's selected as an object, and I'm using my nudge key, my right arrow. I'll bring it over like that, so it places the eye in a more natural position. So there is half of a cartoon face. The next thing we're going to do, according to our template design, this is going to be much easier. We're going to take the pen tool, and we're going to just make clicks to create a jagged mountainscape. So like this, click. And we're doing this just so it differentiates between the other shape from the other side of the triangle. And always end directly on the path of the triangle, like so. And Shift Command A deselects it. Now we're going to do a more smoothly flowing mountain range. So click right here, come up. Now you're going to click and hold your mouse down and drag. And now we don't have to retract the lever on this one. Come over here, click and drag. And then let's go and finish it up right there. Click and drag like so. And let go. Now Shift Command A. You should have these designs on your triangle like so. Alright, now let's go to the selection tool, go to the layer, and you're going to the layers panel and unlock the triangle layer, which was your first layer. So you're exposing the design and the triangle layer together. Now we're going to, since they're both able to, and I'm going to, by the way, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to hide this one so we're not bothered with that anymore. Now I want you to marquee select over everything you've just drawn. Draw a fence around it and everything is selected. And let's see. We have to make sure. And now I want you to do Object, Transform, Reflect. Now, we want to reflect it so that we want to use the vertical axis this time. And it's going to look like that, so that you will finish the face of the cartoon character. Now, the preview, obviously, you can see here, it's showing you exactly what I want. So you're going to end up creating a diamond or a chevron shape, and hit the copy button. Now, when you've copied something, and while I'm talking, I'm going to go out like that. When you've copied something, the clone appears selected on top of the original. Now, be careful and point your mouse to the array that you just created. And you're going to press your mouse down, and you're going to start to drag the copy so that it coincides, it hits the original one and finishes the complete face of the character. Now, in order to keep it directly horizontal, as you're dragging, hold your shift key down. So I'm going to press it and start to drag, hold the shift key down, and keep dragging until my vertical lines line up and meet, like so. Then I'm releasing my mouse, then I take my finger off the key. And I'll be reminding you throughout this semester, it's always important that if you're using keystroke commands, that you release your mouse before you take your finger off the keys. Now I'm going to click outside, and we have what appears to be a complete figure. Now I see here that okay, notice on mine I pointed to this side, and I noticed that the fill is white, and I don't want that because I want to be able to see the black line in here. So I'm going to hit none and make no fill there. Now this one here, I also want that to be none. And this one here, same way, none. The original triangles should have the white fill, but all of the lines we did after, I should have done this from the start, should not have had a fill. So this one, click it, and no fill. So yours should look, and this one here, no fill. And this one, no fill. So these lines that we did, I should have done this at the beginning, but it's good practice for you to practice figuring out what these things all mean. When you're drawing in Illustrator, whether it is a closed path or not, it will still have a fill. And if you just want a single line, a single path, take the fill out like I'm doing now. So right now, your design, let me see, this one still should be none. So even though that took some time, you learn some of the things about the fill and the stroke. Now I'm going to go Command 0 and show you right now what we have. We're going to do our first tessellation, and I'll show you the process in order for you to complete the whole design. And then after I show you the basic steps, you will have to scale them down in order to make your page look like that one. All right, now we're going to marquee select over everything like so. And once it's all selected, for convenience, go to Object, Group. You now have the group. This time go to Object, Transform, and you're going to rotate. And this time you're going to make it into 120 degrees and look at the preview. Now this is what you want. You're going to have the clone, the copy, will enable this flowing mountain, this curvy mountain here, will align up with the curvy mountain on the original. So I'm going to hit copy, and then as before, you're going to grab the copy and put it down and line it up with the other one. And you'll notice that that completes that form. Okay, at this point it's still selected. Now the only other thing, from here on in, we're only going to go to the Object Transform menu one more time, and after that we're pretty much all we have to do is clone everything by using the Option key. First, go to Option, Transform, Reflect, Vertical Axis. Let's take a look at what it does. It's showing you that it's going to flip it on the vertical axis, and that's what we want. And then you're going to do Copy. Then you grab it, and as you're moving your mouse to the right, you hold the Shift key down, like this. Hold the Shift key down, and then nudge this right in so that they line up like that. And then you can take your nudge key, the arrow key, until it's perfectly in line, like that. Always fine-tune by using the nudge keys. Those are the arrow keys on your keyboard. So now we have your basic configuration. This in itself is a tessellation, but we want to get it so that we can, it's going to look like that one. All right. So now, marquee select the whole thing. And in order to scale everything and not to have to make extra motions moving it around, grab the top right anchor point. Always grab one of the corner anchor points when you're scaling. You'll always see that the cursor will turn into a 45 degree with arrowheads on it. Now you're going to, before we start doing this, you're going to hold your finger on the Shift that keeps it in proportion. You're also going to hold your finger on, I always put my third on the Shift on your left hand, and your index, your pointer finger on the Option, and that's going to go around the center point, like this. As I said before, make sure you release your mouse, then release the keys. Then take, I'm going to use my arrow key and move this whole thing up like that. Okay, click outside and deselect. Now you're going to take each one of these pieces and you're going to try to construct the tessellation, and I'll hide yours and show the template. So here's what you have originally. So then you have to clone, and I'll show you how to start by doing that. So I'm going to hide this, show this. Now I'm going to click on this one. Now you see the angled part right here. We want that to line up with this here. You selected it first, hold down the Option key, which means you're going to clone it. Then start to drag it to the left, hold the Shift down, keeps it horizontal, and then until you reach right there. And obviously it works because it's completed this jagged form that way. Then you're going to take your, let's take the top one, hold the Option down, clone it, bring this down, and put him like that. And you are to continue this operation. Let's take this one, Option, clone, bring it over here, and use the nudge key to line it up, and you can always see how the lines will line up. Then click this guy and hold down the Option and bring him down to here. So at this point you are to continue until your design fills up a large part of the page. And let's bring up the other one. Command 0 is like that. So you're going to have a design that looks very much like this just by cloning. You've already done your initial reflecting and rotating, and now we're cloning in order to complete the ultimate design. After you have completed that, I want you to do Command S, which saves it, or if you want, go to File, Save, and it saves what you had originally named as triangle tessellation. And we'll continue in the next segment.